going on? What is going on? Everybody in the house, what is going on? Wake up in Cleveland every single morning.
I wake up, flex, thumb down now, check, no drip, this, wet. Tell 'em run it up, no sleep, no rest, might crash, might wreck, but first I stretch, tell 'em run it up. I wake up, flex, thumb down now, check, no drip, this, wet. Tell 'em run it up. I wake up, flex, thumb down now, check, no drip, this, wet. Tell 'em run it up.
What is going on? What is going on? What is going on? Wake up Tech Thursday, late edition, very late edition, and as a matter of fact, a very late and a very short edition. This won't be your average show because I am in the midst of jury duty insanity. Not that it's a big deal. I mean, everybody does jury duty, but I live in right outside of Los Angeles, which is Ventura County. And well, there is a where's my text messages here? There is a slight issue with the way they do things now. Like a slight issue. It's not a big deal, but it is something that I have to deal with. So I, as you guys all know, am going on vacation next Monday. So there may or may not be a show next Thursday. I will be in Hawaii trying to enjoy myself. But let's just, so I got a jury duty and they changed it and they changed it again. I didn't know. So when I got my jury duty, it was mandatory before the pandemic. It was like, you have to come. There's no calling in. There's no, it was just go. So I just saw it. I'm like, okay, I got to go. So on Monday morning, I went all the way to Ventura to go do my jury duty. And of course, little did I know that I was on call. So you have to call every day in order to see if you're going to be in. My number was 59. So I'm like, maybe they won't call me this week. Here's the thing. First off, when I got there, they said to me, well, you can try to see if they can let you in here. There's a lot of people though. It's Monday. Of course, there's going to be a lot of people. And the lady's like, nope, we're already full. Come back, call tonight and find out. So didn't have anything on Tuesday. Had something on Wednesday afternoon. There are two sessions, a morning session and an afternoon session, and you don't know which one you're going to end up getting. So I go to my afternoon session yesterday, and they're like, okay, these are the court cases. One's going to be, it was something ridiculous, like 3 or 4 weeks. And I'm just like, nope, I'm not doing that one. And then, but I want to be on a court case. I've never been, my mic is fine, Kyle. If it is low, it's on you. I guarantee you my mic is blasting. So, but I can check again and make sure. My volumes are pretty high. Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat if it's too low, even though this is the same volume I used when I was on Nick's show. So it's a bit low. I haven't touched anything, people. And it's literally maxed out. So don't know what to tell you. Don't know what to tell you guys. You're just going to have to deal with it. 222. All right, hold on. You guys always messing up my time. And by the way, you could ask politely. You don't have to tell me, turn the mic up. That's rude. We're not being rude today. This should not affect anything. Unless my gain restructure was reset. So hold on. All right. I'm turning it up 5 dB. 5 dB. I'm not in the red. So I think. All right. We'll go up another 5. Okay. That's as high as I'm comfortable going. I don't want to go in the red because then we start to distort. All right. Back to my comments. And my social stream is not working, so I can't even put you guys in here. Hold on. I'm getting an error. Activate source. I think there we go. Anyway, refresh. All right, we're not going to worry too much about that at the moment. Okay. Let's see here. What was I saying? Oh, so they said the first one was, like 4 weeks. And but I want to be in a court case. I've never been on a court case. I've been here all my life in Southern California. Never been on I know there was better off to refresh. Never been on a court case. So so then they were like, well, there's going to be shorter ones. I'm like, okay, well, hopefully it's like a 3-day one. Anyway, I get into the court. They finally assign me to a court. And I put in there, she's like, so this one's going to go for through July 17th. And I'm like, well, again, I can't do it. But here's the thing. They no longer allow you to just say, I can't, I'm on vacation or whatever, and sign it. And then they sign you off then. That was what the lady in the waiting room told us. Yeah, just fill them out and then they'll sign you off. They don't do that. So I get in there and they're like, fill this paper out. I'm like, that's the same paper we just signed. So I had to sign it. She's like, give my dates when I'm going to be gone. And she's like, so after that, we will decide. So come back. So not only did I waste a Wednesday, but now I got to come back on Thursday, which is today, which is the afternoon shift, which is why this show is going to end at no later than 12:30. I got to go back just so they can tell me that it's been approved. And I'm not trying to hide. I'm just like, defer me. Just defer me. That's it. I'll do the court case if, obviously I have DJ Expo, which is the only other thing that's going to take away some of my day plans. But besides that, I have my anniversary, but they're not going to do anything in July. They're going to probably push it off to like September. So, to make a long story short, they don't care anymore in California. They do not care. They don't care. There are no excuses. You have to serve. So on the paper, it says 1 day or one jury. That's not really true. It's not really true, but that's okay. Now I'm going to say something that's going to come off sounding real harsh. So when they called us into the court, obviously the plaintiff and his lawyer, or I should say the defense and their lawyer, and then the other lawyer, prosecutor, they were in the room standing there, inviting people in. Is it wrong that I was like, I looked at him and said, oh, he did that shit. Is that wrong of me? I'm supposed to be more open-minded, but I was like, he did that shit. I don't even know what the case is about, but he did that shit. I'm a bad person. The mics. What kind of mics was it? I don't really know. I'm assuming they were using well, the lady in the waiting room was using, I believe, a Sennheiser. And then when we got in, I think they were using like one of the longer, Bob Barker bendable ones. Anyway, but I believe they were using Sennheisers. Okay. DJ Sports Girl says, good afternoon, Cleveland. Did you hear about the Rain Performer? Welcome, DJ Sports Girl. Clearly you are new to this. And yeah, I've heard of the Rain Performer. I have several videos on it too. Might want to check it out. I actually have the Rain Performer right here because I have to skin it, and I haven't skinned it yet. Right now I have, well, it's kind of ugly up here, but obviously I got this guy, which is my Rev, because after I did the comparison video, I have been too lazy. Not too lazy. I'm actually waiting for I'm waiting for a new top from Max Design, and then I can put the Rain Performer in there. I'm going to use the Rev. Like, hey, I'm a man of my word. I'm going to use the Rev 7 for, it's going to go on my glide bag, and that's going to be the I don't have to bring a setup piece of gear. Not bring a setup. I'm not using my like full setup. Like maybe I have to go to it's at a nightclub. You got to bring your own controller or whatnot. I will bring the Rev 7. The Rain Performer will stay in my Danny Max booth. That's the one I will use from this point forward, just for the furniture, but everything else will be with my Rev 7. People, there's this weird thing about people where they believe, for some strange reason, that you're not allowed to like more than one product at a time. So if I'm using the Rain Performer, logic dictates that I hate the Rev 7. Which is not the case. I love them both. They both have great attributes. Now, the one attribute that the Rain Performer does not have, and I'm still being limited by, and that is Algorithm DJ's latest update. Their latest update, obviously, I didn't do a video on it, but you guys know their latest update allowed some bug fixes, a couple changes, but more importantly, they've introduced new gear into their catalog. So that means that the Flex 10, I believe the Rain 4, the T7, which I was very happy about, and but not the Rain Performer yet. So I'm just waiting on the Rain Performer because that's still going to dictate or remove me from being able to use Algorithm DJ consistently, because I am going to be going from both pieces of hardware, technically all three. And if they want me to use, Algorithm DJ, it's got to work with the Rain Performer too. Every time I slightly feel bad for Algorithm DJ, because every time we're like, hey, they're finally, a new piece of gear comes out, and you're like, damn it. And I knew about the update before it was released. I was speaking to DJ Angelo, and he's like, you're gonna be really happy with it. And it's a great piece of software, except for the fact I'm still waiting. Performer should work. Are you sure about that? I turned it on. It did not allow me to connect and that was like a week ago. So it's not seeing it. Now, we are glitching a little bit because I see my little yellow warning sign. I believe the last time that happened, the glitch occurred before. So now we should be fine. That's usually when I see that sign. But yeah, the Performer will not work. I guess I could try it again. I mean, obviously it won't work with the iPad. It has to be on your computer. But yeah. And at that point, that's really the only reason that I'm slightly annoyed with the way DJ does things, because like on my Rev 7, here, I will show you. I'm not even plugged in. Damn, this thing is dark. All right, let's try to adjust some settings here. Okay. The one thing about this guy, can I do picture in picture? Where am I? Oh, there we go. Okay. So the one thing about this guy that, it's got the Pioneer DJ. It's a lot on, if you're using DJ and you don't have it, this is just blank. But, you can go over here and you can change to your logo. So that way your logo just sits on your screen like so. Now, I don't care that it doesn't use the screens. The problem is, well, we know the problem. The problem is the Rain Performer does not have logos. So I have a feeling that even when they do get it done, it's just going to be a blank screen. It's not the end of the world, but it just kind of, you guys know, it just kind of changes things. Just kind of makes it seem like it's half working. It is what it is, but still kind of annoying. Okay, let's see here. Okay. Love your show. Wanted to know, do they also give out NDA agreements when they are testing out new speakers from, let's say, QSC, RCF? Everybody does NDAs because everybody wants to have their shine. So yes, they give those out too. And even if there wasn't an NDA, if somebody contacted me and was like, hey, I have a new product, it's not scheduled to be released until August 1st. I'm going to send it to you. I actually had a person do that to me today. They're like, yeah, the product's not coming out for another 3 weeks, but I want you to test it in the beta and then, let us know. And then we'll do a full on release. Happens all the time, but out of respect, I will not post anything. Okay. Anyway, I know there was a question here. By the way, hello everybody. My social stream is not working. I think I need to update it. Update here. Hold on. Let me just do that real quick. New version. There was a question, DMG, when installer. Okay. As soon as this downloads. All right, while this is downloading. So my question was, social stream installer is already down. Perfect. I cannot stand Windows always telling me not to run everything. I didn't ask you for that. And you're never right. You're never right. All right, let me shut this down. All right. I lost the question. But I know one of the questions was recently it appears that Alpha Theta / Pioneer DJ has been removing dongle options on some of their older hardware. In other words, let me make sure. All right, come on. All right, in other words, hardware that used to be included in the free update no longer is. Now you are required to use the subscription services. T Diesel in the building. What's going on, fam? Because of that, obviously there are people that are slightly annoyed. It is what it is. Professor BX has broken it down more. It says for controllers that are over 8 years old. So, legacy controllers, basically, they are removed. And more importantly, let's not say they are removing, okay? Because that's not the actual truth. People spin it that way, but that's not the truth. What's going on is they're just not allowing it in Rekordbox 7. If you use 6, it'll still work. 7, it will not. You'll have to get the subscription. But a lot of the normal hardware, the hardware that we've been using, all the new stuff, it works just fine. So and you still get Rekordbox 6 for free and can pay for 7. Yeah. I don't have necessarily, first off, I think everybody needs the ability. And when I say everybody, I'm not talking about human beings. I'm talking about companies. Okay. Companies deserve to make money. And unlike Apple, where, and even some of their hardware has, you have to subscribe to certain software. if you guys watch the videos, trust me, it's all on there. Very, very extensive, Jody. Very extensive on the Rain Performer and the comparison between the Rev 7 and the Rain Performer. So it's my last large video. Check it out. I actually have two, one on the Performer, one on the comparison. I don't have a problem with companies needing to make money. I don't. And I know that some people will absolutely complain about there is no one-time payment. I thought the one-time payment was still there. Have they removed it completely? This is my naivety that is kicking in. But I thought that there was a Record Box 7. Record Box. I mean, most people are going software subscription based only. I don't love subscription based. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think it's a very frustrating thing, and I would rather have the ability to buy it outright. Okay. Doesn't look like there is an option. Dropbox included. Huh. I thought there was one, but I guess there isn't. Subscription only. So this is a tough one, because obviously, you can always stay in 6, but I know people are going to want to move up to 7. They're going to want to see the better. Hey, there's my text, my comment section. They're going to want to see. They're going to want to see all the new updates that have come out and use the new things. I completely understand. I would have preferred, in all honesty, I would have preferred literally having a one-time purchase. I think that, Adobe's doing the same thing. And I get the argument, but I think the argument is flawed, because the argument is, well, we're always updating. So if we're always updating, then, you're basically paying for the services to be updated. So I understand that. I do. Cause you're getting new updates all the time. With like Photoshop, all the things that they've come out with, the generative fills and all that stuff, before that would have taken a year or two to come out, and then you'd have to buy the software outright again. So I'm on the fence. I don't want everything to be subscription based. It drives me nuts. Right now I'm paying for, I have Final Cut on my computer, but I also have it on my iPad. It's $5 a month on my iPad. I think Logic is $5 a month on your iPad. Algorithm DJ is $50 a year, so it's where we're headed. I think it's just a matter of time before, even Serato does something like that. I honestly believe it. I think they're all heading that way. I don't think it's right for everybody. In all honesty, I think that a lot of people like me, they just want to own. You're like, I don't want to think about the fact, if I get to a place and for whatever reason, Serato does this right now, where you go someplace and you haven't logged in a while, and then you turn it on, and next thing you know, it's like log in. You're like, oh my God, I have no service here, so, I hope, that the only way you can get around this, guys, if you don't like something, the only way to express your frustrations is with your checkbooks, with your wallet. And if you want change, you have to be vocal, and then it has to be seen. You get what I'm saying? So if for whatever reason you're a Pioneer loyalist and you love Pioneer and Record Box 6 and 7 comes out and you're like, you can't have it on your old stuff, and you're just like, well, then I just won't upgrade anymore. At a certain point, if everybody's doing that, they would see that and go, we need an alternative, because again, it's a business, and businesses, just like everything else, they dictate based upon money. So, or yeah, like Don Ralph said, you never upgrade. You never upgrade. And there's tons of people still rocking turntables and vinyl. So, a lot of this stuff. And remember, a lot of this stuff doesn't even pertain to a lot of people. Okay. So let's say, for instance, you are using, one of the old, DD lines of whatever, the smaller controllers, the older ones, 8 years old. If you are using that, I don't think it matters. I don't think you moving to 7 changes anything. You get what I'm saying? So you might as well just stay on 6 or 5 or whatever you were on. But if you buy new equipment, a lot of these products are going to be free. It's just so all the YouTubers need to speak to. No, they don't. No, Kalo, they don't need to speak to. We look again. The only way I can speak all I want. I can say I'm not a fan of subscription models. Meanwhile, I have tons of things that are based upon subscription models. So I'm the last person to say now again, and I pay for DJ every year. I pay for DJ every year and I barely use it. Okay. So, but I like the fact that it's there. So I pay for it. You have to decide what's important to you. And again, remember, we're arguing about something that is kind of irrelevant for a lot of people. Okay. And that is, you don't actually need 7 if you're using this old gear. I'm not defending Alpha Theta, but the question is, how long has this? It's been 8 years on products. So I think you're fine. You can just keep using 6. It's not like if they had said everything is subscription based now, from now on, including Record Box 6 and before, you have to pay now. Then I'd be pissed. But they're not saying that. They're just saying for the people most people aren't even, I don't say most people, a lot of people aren't even using Record Box 7. Okay. A lot of people were just using 6 because they wanted to make sure it was stable. They knew what to expect. So I get it. As a matter of fact, even when I opened up 7, when I was testing some product, I ended up having to go back to 6 for some reason. So it wasn't a big deal to me too. 7's definitely a better looking update. They've made some modifications, but you have to decide. I only speak out for like real injustices. And real injustice is they took away everything. Then I'd be like, okay, that's trash. we gotta say something. But I'm not gonna jump on a business decision for future products. There's gonna come a point, people. Honestly, there's going to come a point, and by the way, we're still not we're not signed off on Alpha Theta owning Serato. That hasn't gone through yet. As a matter of fact, I think it goes through. The final answer is is it today or the 18th? Somewhere around there. It's this month over the next week. So we'll find out then. But again, I don't think, I think people are scared of nothing, in all honesty. I think anybody that's like, oh, well, Alpha Theta is going to buy Serato and then all the hell's going to break loose. I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's just going to be just legitimately, they're going to work on their own and it's just going to be another piece under their umbrella. That's what I think. And maybe they start sharing options, because they're not incorporating, they're not going to absorb Serato. Serato's still going to be its own entity. That's always been the case, but people are afraid of all these trade secrets and hardware secrets, when in reality, I've seen more hardware secrets that was not supposed to be announced than most. And that's coming from every manufacturer. So if Pioneer wants to know what gear you're coming out with, they can find out. It's a small world. It is a small group of people that are involved in this. Most of the high-end products will definitely be unlocked. Definitely. Yeah. As a matter of fact, oh, that's why, because if I'm not mistaken, I went to test something on the Rev 7. And if I'm not mistaken, the Rev 7 requires a Rekordbox 7 subscription in order to use it. I don't know if it works on Rekordbox 6. No, it does. I get confused. Something was off and I couldn't use Rekordbox 7, but I believe it's because the Rev 7 requires a subscription because it was never designed for a Rekordbox. Anyway, I want the Flex 10 Lite XLR port to work with Serato. Why? Serato doesn't have any DMX. So what purpose would that serve for Serato specifically? You know, if you wanted it to work with like SoundSwitch, then I understand. But you know, Serato barely has a working video app. It doesn't require a sub. Okay, gotcha. Something was something, I can't remember. Either way, neither here nor there. Professor BX would know, since you know he's the man. Manfred, I don't speak whatever the hell that is. I'd love to, but maybe somebody can translate for me. Oh, gotcha. Okay. So let's go back up here real quick. Cracked versions. All right, let's talk about this for a minute. Let's talk about this. Because I know that's something that people automatically do. So this is what I will say to anybody using cracked versions. And this is coming from a person. I used to use cracked versions all the time until I became a professional. Once I became a professional, cracks went out the door. So if you are making money DJing, nothing, or whatever your profession is, nothing should be cracked. You're making money. This is your livelihood now. So you got to spend the money. And look, when it's all said and done, your Rekordbox subscription, my Algorithm DJ subscription, those are all write-offs. None of that you have to take on the chin. So if you are a professional, it really shouldn't matter. You know, people are constantly complaining about all the things. And it's like, I think a lot of people aren't writing off half the stuff that they should be, because you shouldn't be paying for anything DJ related. Like, well, you're paying for it, but it shouldn't be something you can't write off. Anything DJ related. And sometimes things that are not DJ related, you can still write off. So I wouldn't stress over that. Yeah, exactly. That can assist you. All right, let's see here. That's fair enough. That's fair enough. All right, I see 12-inch skins in the building. What's going on, fam? Good to see you. Yeah, I haven't skinned my board yet, but you know why I haven't skinned my board yet? And is because I don't know. You see this one, this is also 12-inch skins. Obviously, you can see the logo right here. And I have too much crap on my desk. This is what happens when you're constantly running out on trips. Okay. So this used to all be 3 pieces and it was full. So I went in and I actually cut all of this. I traced it out and then cut it. So it would look like this. I've always loved this kind of tuxedo look, and I am not sure what I want to do for the Rain Performer yet. My gut is telling me to just do the middle white and the jogs white. That's what my gut's telling me. Because it is going in all white furniture. That's what my gut's telling me. But I'll keep messing around with it and see what I want to do. Yeah, we'll see. I'm not really there yet. Okay. Let's see here. I have a question for you, says Anthony. Please be honest. No. I prefer to lie. I have a question. The stems sound better with a prescription plan. I think even subscription. But to be fair, even the record box stems sound better with the prescription. I'm not going to lie. So the more prescriptions you have in your body, the better record box stems are going to sound. No. The answer is no. The subscription does not make stems sound any better. They just need to improve their stems. They're not there yet. There is one thing. They are sending me a Akai MPC Live 2. Akai is sending me, and just today I was hoping to get it earlier so I could actually do a real test. But today they just released standalone stems in their production gear. That's a big deal because I truly believe that the stems that are being used in the MPC are the same stems that will be ported over to the Engine OS line. I think that the Engine OS stems are dead in the water. I don't think they're moving forward. I think it's done. I think they realized it was trash and they can't fix that. But if they can just port over the MPC one, I think they're going to be in a very, very good place, in all honesty. Okay. Magnetic version would be great. That would be great. I actually just saw the magnetic version for the Rain, and I was like, oh, I'm sad. Although this is fine. I don't know if I want to do more color this time, even though it's going in a white case. I don't know if I want the sides to be colorful. I haven't decided yet. All right. Sam, what's going on, Sam? If a mixer and tables are only used to control software, are controllers better option for functionality and more popular as a result? If a mixer and tables are only used to control software, controllers are a better option. No. Controllers are more convenient. They make things just easier. I mean, the basic fundamentals of turntables, if you're using like an S11 and a couple of turntables, as if, you go to instant double, you have to be aware that your pitches need to still be in the proper point, because unlike a controller, when you instant double a controller, it doesn't matter where this pitch is. Once you instant double, it's just going to take over whatever BPM there. It's just going to share it to the other deck. So this is not the case. Well, it's not the case for regular turntables and regular apps, except for Virtual DJ. I believe you can instant double Virtual DJ and it will override your pitch, which I can't personally stand. I prefer my stuff to be where I know it to be, and I don't want to have to do this weird. I mean, this is one of the things I hate. I hate having to reset my pitch. All right. But to each their own. Everybody does things differently. Okay. Let's see here. I would welcome that. I would welcome that. Yeah. And I'm curious though, why, considering that the Rain Performer is metal, why you didn't start with a metal skin. Just curious. You don't have to answer if you don't want to. BDJ has payment options. Yes. Yes, we know. Batman design. That sounds dope. Yeah. I mean, I think everybody used cracked Photoshop at some point, but now at this point in time, the rate that they are updating their subscription model, because I think that's the biggest argument. Okay, in all honesty, it's the biggest argument when you go to a subscription model, and that is fine. I'm paying every month. What updates are you doing every month that kind of warrant my price? Now they're going to say yes, but the price is for the service. Period. Blah blah blah. But that's not how people look at when they're looking at subscriptions. Perfect example. Okay, if you were to get a subscription for Netflix or Peacock or Hulu, right? And let's say you get this subscription for Hulu, and they have an old catalog. They have no updates. They don't update at all, any point in time. You're going to say, this isn't worth my money because, yes, I can still look at all this old stuff, but where's all the new stuff? Where are the new movies? Where are the new TV shows? And I think that's the way a subscription model should work. You know, Photoshop keeps giving you new stuff all the time. I appreciate that. I don't believe that like the business model that Apple has, if they were any other company and weren't, you know, burning cash is just falling out the sky, their models technically wouldn't really work. You know, the fact that you can buy Final Cut one time for over the past like 20 years and they haven't charged you an update, like that's not really a sustainable business model. But they don't care about the software, they care about the hardware you purchase. So that's one of the reasons why I feel that you have things like Serato Sample, Serato Studio, because Serato DJ is the one thing that they're giving away technically free that they know is a gateway drug for Serato Studio, for Serato Sample. If you're trying to get into doing edits and things like that. I just did an edit last night or 2 nights ago, and I'll be releasing it soon. But I got Ableton Live, you know, the MPCs come in. I have Logic. I have all the software. And the thing is, nothing is as easy to use as Serato Studio. Now, are there frustrating parts about it? Yes. But just like a subscription, are they constantly updating the software? Absolutely. And that's the key. You know, if you're paying a subscription, you want to see new things continuously being added. Because if they only add once a year, you're like, well, what was the point of the subscription then? Might as well just wait, you know, but there's no option. Anyway, to make a long story short, you know, things like Serato Studio, those are opening up the door. At a certain point, will Serato be subscription based? I think so. I think there will be flagship hardware like there always is. And then there's Serato Lite. And I have a feeling that I don't know if the flagships will ever go subscription based, but I have a feeling that anybody that has Serato Lite and they need to update, I think that those pieces of gear will end up being subscription based at some point. Speculation. I could be 100% wrong, but that's kind of my feeling. That makes kind of the most logical sense. No, that's not true. I mean, honestly, what was the last software or the last hardware that made your software obsolete or backwards? I don't think. Okay. Your hardware and your software will always work. Okay. Obviously, if you bought a piece of gear and you bought a computer and you bought Final Cut or you bought whatever, you bought Adobe Premiere, you bought it, and let's say you bought it one time. If you never update, your system will work. Now, if you want all the pretty bells and whistles of the new software and have all this cool stuff in it, that's a different story. But your stuff will always work. It'll always work, assuming you don't update. Hey, no. We're talking two different things, though, Radbone. We're talking two different things because pre 2015 stems, that is a computer minimum requirement. That's not the same. They're not making it obsolete. They're just saying you can't have the new features. There's a difference, you know. Now, if we come to find out, and we know this is not true because even Virtual DJ has minimum spec requirements, you know. But had we found out that the stems that work in Serato right now could work on a 2011 MacBook Pro, but they just decided this is an iPhone thing, you know, there's all this new software coming out, but it only works on this next coming phone. But you guys didn't do much. We should be able to use that. No, it won't work. We know what they're doing. That's planned obsolescence. I don't find that the DJ companies are doing this just yet. Not yet. Carl in the building. What's going on? I wish I could send you a template JPEG of my Batman design for the Rain Performer. It's badass. I'm sure it is. I personally like a very, very clean look. I've seen some really amazing designs, like really, really cool. And I'm always jealous. But I need mine to look as clean as possible. I mean, there's a reason that, like, since my Rev has been in my furniture, people are just like, oh my God, it just looks great. Like, in my opinion, if you have all white gear, you got to do something to break up the all black controller that's sitting in your furniture. Unless you have if you have black furniture, you know, both Danny Max, both Joe Bunn, they both make black things. Even the what's it called? I can't remember the name right now. Either way, everybody has black furniture. Then I would keep all black, you know, all black everything. Hunter, thank you. But I don't think, but when you have all white, I'm cool with breaking it up, like I said, with the tuxedo look, but I don't want it to just be an all black controller, you know? And I believe that, by making the Rain Performer, cause look, you guys know, hold on, I'll show you. I will. Oh, this thing is so heavy. All right. So you guys know that, put it right here. This side right here is, I think, hey, spiderweb is the weakest part. Not weak that it doesn't do what it's supposed to do, but weak that I don't love not being able to see the knobs as clearly, you know, in a dark environment. I'm not gonna lie. That board is heavy. I've said it. My opinion's not gonna change. The board is heavy. But I think if I had white right there, the knobs would be easier to read or know when they're not exactly at 12 o'clock. Yeah, exactly. Battleship Gray for my Performer. Hey, look, like I said, T Diesel. Like I said, this is everything I ever say. This is all preference. It has nothing to do with right or wrong or the right, you know, it's just do what you want. Like, I love Mojax's skins. I love that blue and white. I love the breakdown. I just couldn't personally use it in my setup, but I absolutely love the way it looks. I don't know if I'm going to be able to skin it this week. I think I'll have to skin it. I know I won't be able to skin it this week because I still have videos to make. People are up my butt and I got to get it out. Is that where that phrase came from? You're up my butt. It is bothering me, so I need to get it out. Anyway, so, yeah. But as I said, Rev 7, Rain Performer can absolutely coexist. I was on with Nick a couple days ago, and you know, Nick said something where I was like, that kind of makes sense. He had said, you know, he likes the Rain Performer, but everywhere he goes now, they're either using, you know, an S11 CDJs, or apparently the Rev 7 is very, very much a standard in, you know, in the Jersey area. And he's like, I don't want to be practicing on a Performer and then it does something on the Performer that I can't do on the Rain, on the Rev, or vice versa, you know, and then it affects his show. I get that. I appreciate that. Um, I always try to limit the things that I do on certain pieces of gear because I want it to transfer to anything I use. So for instance, if I know that on here on the Rev 7, it does something cool, or even on the Rain Performer, where I can do something and I can't do it on turntables, 9 times out of 10, I just won't use it because, in my opinion, I want to be able to translate. It's the same reason that I rock +8 on all of my gear. All of it. I rock +8 on all of my gear. I don't do +16. I definitely don't do +50. And people are like, well, why not? 16 is fine. 16 is fine. But if I ever go to a place that has turntables, and that's more often in LA than you think, and they only, like, let's say they have some MK3s, they only go up to +8. So now all of my routines are based upon +16. So I keep it at +8. And in all honesty, it keeps me musical because I feel like sometimes when you are using +16, +50 or whatever, you take liberties that you probably shouldn't. I can make this work. I can do this. You know what I mean? And then you go somewhere else and you're like, oh, this actually, I can't do it here, or it actually doesn't sound that good. So since I've been doing +8, it's not changed me, but I've gotten back to what I used to do. You and Nick can't request equipment riders when you are booked. Sometimes, but not all the time. Not most of the time. Most of the time, you're just kind of hearing what they're using and going, can I use it or not? What's your setup? Oh, two turntables and an S9. Okay, I can make it work. Do I want to use an S9 anymore? No, I don't. And it's not because there's only one reason. The single reason why I do not like to use the S9 is based upon this layout. You see these buttons right here? These pads on the S9, these pads are all shared by the center buttons. And I can't stand that because I use my rolls. I use stems, all of these things. And I'm not trying to remap everything, especially for something that I don't use that often. So I use it, but even that alone changes the way I DJ. So I don't do the S9s unless I have to. I would prefer an S7. I mean, S7, S11, obviously, Rain 70. You guys know how I feel about the Rain 72. So those are mine. DJ Queasy, great poll. What pitch range do you use most? Well, I don't have the option to do a poll on this. But I'm going to assume that most people rock +16. That's kind of what I'm thinking. 20% for the win. Hey, to each their own. To each their own. This is Mixed Master G in the building. What is going on? That is I can't do a +20. Look, when you've been doing it for as long as I have, and I know some of you have, but when you've been doing it as long as I have, you get a muscle memory for what each line means. And I know how far, if I were to go up to this, I know how far it's going. At +20, your guess is as good as mine. Anyway, like the double stack pad on the S11, great idea, but none of my other gear does that, so I never use it. I get it. I completely understand. Completely. Sorry, I'm getting over a dance cold. You don't know what a dance cold is? Well, that's when you take your whole family to Dance Nationals last week, and all you do is spend time with a whole bunch of variants. So I got a little bit of a cold. I think it's been stress, and typically after a high stress week for me, or high stress several weeks, which they have been for me, and I finally get a chance to relax, that's when I get my cold. So Like I just started working out again. Of course, that's when you get your cold. So next week in Hawaii, I hope I'm fine. I think I'll be fine because I want to run on the beach like Apollo Creed. Okay. Hope you get some guests on your show. Manfred, you must be newer. I used to have guests on my shows all the time. Just haven't had the time. Haven't had the time to schedule those guests and to do any type of research. Are you going to order some chroma caps to make the knobs more visible? Probably not. I'm not the biggest chroma cap guy. I have a couple of mixtures with chroma caps. They're fine. I like things most of the time in their kind of natural design. I don't have to make my controller look like a clown car. Like I just like, I mean, I'm the kind of person that when I buy something, I bought it because of the way it looks or because of the way it feels. So I'm not in the habit. Now, there is one that I would have changed in a heartbeat, and that was the Rane 70, because that 8-track edition with the knobs, that thing is beautiful. Beautiful. I know I can upgrade it, but I've been on the S11. As much as I love the Rane 70, it's not better than the S11. So I usually don't. I might put that one in the studio at the office and just keep that up because I do like it. It'd be a nice practice thing. Anyway. Okay. My next controller and speaker setup will be white, but for now I'm rocking all black. Nothing wrong with that. All right, let's see here. Let me drop back down. Well, it was a completely different show. Like it was a completely different show. As a matter of fact, I mean, it is a different show. You know, this is Tech Thursday. So I'm not bringing people on the show for Tech Thursday because this is a question and answers type show. But I will be bringing back the guests. I'm just trying to figure out how. I love using Ultra Pitch on turntables for precise scratching practice. Absolutely. 100%. That's the best time to use a plus or minus 50 because then you can really hear all the sounds. You can keep the sounds going. If you're doing any type of transforms, it definitely comes into play. Absolutely. I'll rock a plus 16 or a plus 50 if I'm making a sweeping change. Let's say I'm sitting at 100 beats per minute and I need to get up to 130 and I don't have a transition beat, which nobody needs anymore. I don't have a transition beat. Well, I can just hit that sync button and, the easiest way is if anybody doesn't know, the easiest way to do it is, let's say for instance, you got your song playing here. All right. And, this is at 0, so maybe it's 100 beats right there, and you need to get up to 130. So let's say this fader over here is like so, okay? The easiest way to do it, if you're trying to get up to 130 on a controller is you're going to bring this fader down to -8 or whatever the 50% translates into. You're going to bring that one down. Then you're going to hit the sync button. Don't hit the sync button until you brought this down to the farthest point. All right. Hit the sync button. After that, you can then start to bring it up. And let's say, for instance, this is here and you're only sitting at 120, but you still need to get up to 130. Well, that's where the other fader comes into play. All right. And then from that time, then you can take this one and still bring up the speed on both sides till you get up to 130. Easiest trick in the building. Works every time. I might have to cut that out and post that on IG as a little tech tutorial. Yes, Carl, you did miss it. You absolutely missed it. No. This is still the Cleveland Terry show, but it's not really a guest show. So the guest shows, all right. I don't do both sides. I want to bring back Twitch. All right. So the Twitch will still be where my interviews are, and I will still post those interviews, but they will be a static post on YouTube. I don't like to do live interviews with Twitch and YouTube at the same time. Different audience, different thought process. Everything's different. So this is a me thing. I know people are, why don't you just do it? I could, I just don't want to. Ever since I switched to having a dedicated channel where we do one thing, the show has been better. The numbers are better. Everything's better. So I will bring it in that way. All right, let's see here. When is the best time to get rid of your old gear and how to sell it? There is no best time. You sell it whenever you want to sell it. Look, obviously the best time to sell anything is when it's still popular. So let's say you have a DDJ 1000 and then the Flex 10 comes out, or the Flex 10's about to come out. You sell your DDJ 1000 before it's announced. That way you get the maximum amount of money. That's honestly the best way. Or because what happens is if a new piece of gear comes out, speakers, whatnot, and then you try to sell them, well, typically speaking, the price point of the new product is relatively close. It's not really the same anymore. It's typically relatively close to the old product. So you're going to lose money on the backside. That's the only difference. Hey, it looks like I had another glitch because it looks like my concurrent things dropped down to 36. There it goes back up again. You can also do that with instant doubles too. Yes, absolutely. Well, we see you at the expo. That's the plan. I just gotta lock down my sponsor. I already have the tickets and everything, but I haven't paid for my flights. I haven't gotten my hotel yet. But I will do it. But that is the plan for me to go. When is it? I think it's like on the 5th, right? I think it's on the 5th. And the problem for me, it's not really a problem, but it's kind of a problem because this is how my life works. So on the 1st, which is a Thursday, is my 20-year wedding anniversary. Then on the 2nd, I have to go to the Bay Area for a bat mitzvah in San Rafael. I will be gone the 2nd, the 3rd, and the 4th. Then we drive home from the Bay Area, and then I have to load up all my stuff and then catch a flight at the literal. It's not even the crack of dawn. It's like I got to fly out at like, I don't know, 12 o'clock, 11 o'clock, because it's a 3-hour window. And so the problem with Atlantic City is it's the worst place to travel to. I'm not saying it's the worst like for everybody in the world, but for me, it is the one place that takes me absolutely forever to get to. There's no direct flights unless I'm flying cheap ass Spirit, and I don't fly Spirit. Okay. So that means I have to fly into Philadelphia, and then I have to catch a train, and then I have to catch 2 trains actually. And that takes that's like a 2-hour window. So let's say I fly in. Last year I flew in, I arrived in Philly at, I think, well, technically my flight was like at 11 o'clock that Sunday night, 11 or 10 o'clock. I got into Philly at, I think 3. So it's 6 in the morning. Obviously I'm not sleeping at that point. I have to get to the train station, and then I have to wait. And the train usually takes it comes every 15, 20 minutes or so. But the last time it took like 30, 40 minutes to the train. And then from the train, needless to say, it's a long day. So by the time I got into Atlantic City, I believe it was around 1:30 or 2 o'clock. And then it's a mile away from the train station. So I just walk, and I walk the boardwalk, and And then that's when I got to my hotel and my room wasn't ready. And by the time my room was ready, I got into the room and crashed for like 4 hours. So Monday ruined, absolutely ruined. So Tuesday is the day where I'm actually functional, but it's a hard trip. It is a hard trip. The Donald with the $10 super chat. Thank you so much, fam. I appreciate you. Thank you all for contributing when you can. It definitely helps the stream. It helps the channel, helps get my kid into school because his college is not cheap. So I appreciate every single one. Yeah, I know it's not the best. we deal with it though. Is there a good way to value used equipment? I don't know what this means. I mean, if you keep your gear in top shape, I feel like even right now, I feel like you could probably sell a DDJ 1000. You could still probably get, my guess is 800 to like, I don't know, maybe 1,000 if it's the Serato version. I don't think you're going to lose that much money. Maybe 7, but you're not going to be selling it for $500. I don't think. Okay. But there is no good way. You got eBay, you got selling it to a friend, or what I like to do is keep that old stuff as backups. If you bought a new Flex 10, keep the 1000 sitting in a case in your car as a backup in case something happens to the Flex 10. Or you got a Rev 7, something happens, go grab it out of the box. I mean, I have options, but that would be, my choice. Don't forget the stems haven't improved. So like I said, the Flex 10 is a total waste of money. Anthony, it's a total waste of money for you because anybody using Serato does not share your opinion. If you are a Rekordbox person, then yeah, it might be technically a waste of money. But even though you're not supposed to buy things with the hope that it gives you what you need, that's first off. And nobody ever said that the stems on Rekordbox were good. Nobody. They said it, and I know, even I said at some point they will be updated. I don't know when, who knows, but they will be updated at a certain point. And I think if anybody understands that they need to update their stems, it's Rekordbox. So I believe it's going to happen sooner than later now, because as you know, out of all the hardware and all the software that's been coming out there, stems has kind of been the deciding factor for most people and what software they use. As good as DJ was until they updated to their new stems, I was like, I'm not using DJ. Stems sound like trash. I'm only going to use Virtual DJ, or I'm going to use Serato. And I think the same thing applies now. So, and I think they know that, which is why, trust me, I'm sure there's a push for new stems. I wouldn't stress over it. All right, let's see here. Thank you, Manfred. Appreciate that. All right, let's see here. By the way, this show will be short. DJ Civil, thank you so much, fam. I appreciate you on that one. I try to help. I try to help when I can. Oh yeah, you were DMing me if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, thank you so much. Does Rev 7 work with Rekordbox? Yes. Yes, it does now. DJ stems have always been on par with Virtual DJ and Serato. No, they have not. What are you talking about? Remember, DJ stems and Virtual DJ, they came out. Their stems were the same, right? Then Serato came out, was better. Then Virtual DJ updated theirs, and they were better. I'm not going to break down which one was the nuances, what made one super better, because I don't think either one of them are super better than the other. They're both very, very good. And then remember, DJ did not update for the longest time. At that point, that window between when they were still using 1.0 to 2.0, I wasn't touching DJ. Wasn't touching DJ. Now you can. And like I said, what do you know, Mixmaster? But in this case, you are incorrect. DJ for a while. It was still using 1.0 when Virtual DJ and Serato had better versions. I'm not talking betas. I'm not talking anything like that. It was a while. I remember. I think they released it at they released the update at NAMM. So, but there was a while when I wouldn't touch Algorithm DJ in their stems. Okay, let's see here. All right, it is 11:56. I have until 12:15-ish, and then I got to go get changed and go to court. That's what I got to do. Virtual DJ and DJ are the best now. Oh, stop. Serato's good too. Max hates on Serato, but Serato has very good stems also. We're not talking to you. I might be wrong, but can you stem the streaming tracks on DJ Pro? Yes, you can now. You couldn't with Tidal for a while, but with the update and the new the new cost of the subscription, you can. All right, let's see here. Like I said, so ask those questions because I do have to go in like 15 minutes back to court. All right, I missed one here. All right. Dylan says, have you ever experienced any financial lows or difficulties in your DJ career? If so, how did you overcome it? There is not a person in the world that hasn't experienced financial lows or difficulties when running their own business. Not a person in the world. Okay. If you are your own business, you're going to run into these things. So, the only way to overcome it is to keep grinding. You know, nothing is set in stone. Nothing is given to you. You got to work for it. And, that's really the only way. That's the only way, you know. I think one of the things that comes into play when you are dealing with financial lows and difficulties is to adjust your expectations of what you think your business should be doing. And also assume that just because your particular business and business could be one person. Okay. But don't assume just because, you know, you got 4 bookings in a month. All right. That 4 bookings is going to translate into 300 bookings. All right. Every month is a new month. And every time people call you and are looking to sign up with you, you have to be, prepared and able to do that. But I know tons of people that like have success in the early parts and they're like, woo, I'm the man. And they go and they, you know, they buy all this crap and they do all this stuff. And then the work dries up and then they're like, oh my God. Now work can dry up. There's always dead times in the year where maybe you're not as busy. Well, hopefully you've built up enough throughout the year to account for that. So, but there's no perfect way. There's no right or wrong. It's just grind. It's constant grind. It's constant. That's it. And when you are doing events, make the most out of the events you're doing. You know, don't look at any event as if, oh, well, this stupid event I got to do fine. And you go in there and you're half-assing it. And sure, the party's fine, but maybe you could have made it better. And you were just like, well, this party sucks. I only get up for 300 people parties. Well, you know, then you're probably going to see the results. And it's never going to happen immediately. You're not going to see the results until all of a sudden people aren't calling you anymore. That's when you see the results. You know, I was just talking to a client today and, you know, being honest and forthright with people and doing what you say you're going to do are far more important than anything else you can sell them. You know, I had a guy today and he was like, well, this is what I'm dealing with. And this is the size of my space. I'd like to do this and I'd like to do that. And it was like, well, you know, this is how much it costs. And this is are your options. And he's like, oh, well, I'm already over budget on my party. All right, let's stop there for a second. Because we know budgets are fluid. Okay. And we know that some people, when they say they're over budget, you know, maybe they still have some spending in there. All right. But I find there are two different types of people that are over budget. The people that don't want to spend and the people that don't want, and the people that want discounts. Okay. So let's say somebody says I'm over budget and your product that you're trying to do is $1,000, right? Your upsell, whatever that is. And he's like, I'm over budget. Can you do it for $600? Okay. Those people are different than the ones that are like, yeah, I'm dead here. I can't spend any more money. So I need the cheapest option. Okay. You have to be able to kind of discern from the conversation, what's the right approach. And I've been really good at kind of understanding when people truly are telling the truth and when they're just trying to get one over on you. So like today, you know, the guy's like, I don't really have it and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, you know what? You don't even have the space for it. You don't have the size. It's fine. You know, I would go with this instead. It's a cheaper option. It'll give you what you need and you're good. And he's like, okay, thank you. But the reason why I'm saying this is because at the end of the call, and we went over his schedule and everything for his event. At the end of the call, he's thanking me profusely. Oh my God, this is exactly what I needed. Thank you so much for helping me and being honest and blah, blah, blah. I'd rather be honest and make less money on this one and make more money on the referral later on. You get it? I make money on the referral. You know, the next person that comes in, you can sell the shit out of. But there's nothing worse for me and for most humans. But the way I talk to people is how I want to be treated. And if somebody forces me to buy some stuff that I didn't think I needed, and then I get to my party where I've spent all this money and I realize I didn't need half the stuff they sold me, I'd be pissed. I'd be pissed. I wouldn't refer that company anymore. I'd be like, don't do this, don't do that. Yeah, they're good, but who cares? They take advantage of you. I would be pissed. So I don't oversell, you know, because I know I've had my own bar mitzvahs. I know how much that stuff costs. You know, it's the same thing when people are like, oh, well, what's the difference between the guaranteed and this price and this guaranteed price and this and this and that? And I flat out tell people, you don't need that. What do you mean I don't need that? You don't need to spend the money. You don't even know who our crews are. You don't know the people. Why are you spending money just because? That's a waste of money. Now, if later on you're like, oh, I've been to your parties because bar mitzvahs are on a circuit, right? So typically speaking, let's say, for instance, a lot of people book 1 to 2 years out. A lot of people book 6 months to a year out. So let's say, for instance, it's August, okay? Or right now, clients are booking us. They book us and they're like, I don't know what I want. Then don't get the guarantee. You're wasting money. Here, just get the normal package. And then if you see somebody later on, because you're going to be in the circuit and you see somebody and you really, really love them, come back. First of all, just request them. And then we'll go from there. And then once they request, if somebody comes in and is like, I want this person, then I turn around and say, hey, they're going to pay for the guarantee. Do you want the upgrade or do you want to choose somebody else? That's called being fair. Fair is far more valuable in anything you do than trying to make that immediate buck. Because a lot of people are going to pay for that stuff. I've had people where I flat out told, you don't need this. And they're like, well, I want it. I'm like, different story. If you want it, I'll sell it to you. But you don't need it. I'm making this clear right now. I don't want you at the end of your party going, oh, well, I really shouldn't have. I told you didn't need it. I just think that a lot of people are so hungry to book that they forget about the people in front of them. And I try not to make that happen. If I can. All right, let's see here. Thank you, DJ 1740. People always forget the budget of the DJ. Yes and no. I think it depends on what it is. For us, we're fortunate. For bar mitzvahs, they typically book the DJ first before they book anything else. But if it's a wedding, yeah, they want the place to be beautiful and the flowers and this and that, and they put you off in a corner, you know, where you're barely visible. Yeah, I agree with you on that one. Okay. 2-part message. Okay, Lopes. Last, I asked about finding the color code embedding. What the hell? What kind of language is this? Did we stop writing out full sentences? Now I'm talking to my daughter all of a sudden. This is my 12-year-old. Last time I asked about finding the color code embedded in the MP3 track. This was an issue because every time I change the color in VDJ, I refresh, it would default back to what's embedded in the MP3 track. Fixed it by using MP3 track. So yeah, I don't have any information on that. Somebody who would be great on that is probably Professor BX or even probably Mixmaster G. Because I don't really mess with that kind of stuff. Because I don't really care. As long as the buttons are where they need to be. All right. I don't understand why the Rain Performer is taking so long for Rain to make this controller work with Virtual DJ. As Mixmaster said, this has nothing to do with Rain. Has absolutely nothing to do with Rain. It is 100% an algorithm DJ or Virtual DJ port over that's taking a while. And I want to clear one more thing up, just so we're all on the same page, because I've been seeing this a lot. This was an argument used. This was an argument used when people were arguing over the fact that Alpha Theta may be buying Serato. And people were like, well, it's not fair. And I'm like, well, you know, they have Engine OS. You know, people are like, well, it's not fair. They're monopolizing. Like, well, they're not really, because there are other services out there that you can choose. But people would flat out say to me, yeah, but Rekordbox doesn't work on the Performer. What the hell? What kind of a weird ass argument is that? And it's never going to. It's just the same thing as Engine's never going to be on a Rekordbox on a Pioneer DJ controller because it's not made for it. I keep seeing this argument that, well, and I keep seeing this one too, because everybody's so stuck to the whole virtual DJ, algorithm DJ thing, that they think that every single software is going to be ported over to every single hardware. Well, when's Rekordbox coming to the Rain Performer? It's never coming to the Performer. People are like, we'll see. Alpha Theta is going to buy, you know, Serato, and then Rekordbox is going to come to Performer. What weird ass logic is that? That doesn't even make any sense. Rekordbox works with Pioneer DJ stuff. Serato is technically an open platform, but it's still hardware locked. The only ones not hardware locked are VJ and DJ. Well, and a couple of the crappy ones, but we're not going to talk about that. Just the ones we know. So just guys got to get over it. Guys got to get over it. Wayne says, can you tell me if this is a good deal? MacBook Pro M3, 1 terabyte, 36 gigs for $2,600. Open box at Best Buy. Well, yeah, the money that you're spending is on that 36 gigabytes of RAM and the terabyte. The terabyte adds, I believe, the terabyte alone adds like $400 to it. And since 8 gigabytes is the standard, moving up to 36, that number makes sense. Now, having said that, you don't need 36 gigabytes of RAM to DJ. You don't even need it to necessarily like, and I know they've changed up the thing. So now it's no longer 8, 16, 24. Now they have this weird thing where it's like, you know, 18 gigabytes of RAM, 26. I'm like, what the hell? What numbers are these? But in general, 36 gigs is overkill just to DJ, period. So, but the price seems fine. The price seems fine. Are we talking to you, Gerald? Are you part of my thing? I remember how you were. I remember how you were on the Nick Spinelli show. I remember what side you stood on when I made my comment about Tupac. I remember the side you were on. I even saw your text messages arguing the same thing. I thought we were friends. You broke my heart. I said that, Mac. You're late. You're late, man. You're late. You can use, okay, everybody's answering the questions I already answered, so that's great. DJ Pro has a weird stim issue. Meaning? All right. Do you, I don't know what's happening today with text with text. I think we all need to slow down in our typing. Do you, I'm assuming, know why iDJ mic doesn't work when you recording a mix? You have to route, but depending on the hardware, you may not have that option, depending on the hardware. So you got to look at your gear too. Okay, let's see here. All right, I got 5 more minutes. I finally watched that movie like 2 weeks ago. I think it was on Hulu, and I was like, I finally got to watch it and see. That movie is so dumb and so smart at the same time. It's crazy. And that was the first time that what's the girl? She's from Saturday Night Live. I've never found her attractive. She was winning me over in that movie. That was the first time. Maya Rudolph. It's the first time. Okay. Yeah, exactly. And even mine, I still have my M1. I have 2 terabyte hard drive and 24. No, I have 32 gigs of RAM, 32. I'm doing video though. So it makes sense. If I wasn't doing video, like my son's not doing video, the one I got him was the MacBook Pro, 1 terabyte hard drive, 16 gigs of RAM. He hasn't had a single problem. And that's fine. That's fine. But I know this. When I buy a Mac and I get my storage upgrades, and I don't think about it, and there's so many ways now. I mean, they do have external hard drives and stuff if you really want to go that route. But I know it's just a part of owning a Mac. But I also know that my MacBooks last forever. So, once you balance that out, and the longevity of how long you have the product, longevity of how long, literally the same thing. That's when you see it. Let's see here. Alpha Theta does not own Serato yet. You guys need to read the news every once in a while. They do not own Serato. And even if they did, like I said 30 minutes ago, you have nothing to worry about. Alpha Theta is not going to come in and then just kill Serato and say everybody needs to be on Rekordbox now. All right? Serato is its own company. Serato makes its own money. Serato has its own business. Serato is not just about Serato DJ. Never has been. So they're moving into production. They're doing more. They're doing different types of things. So it's not just about having Serato DJ that is the reason Alpha Theta wants them. Come on, guys. All right, they're talking about computers. Yeah, I mean, if you want to do stems, well, obviously, if you go not real time stems, there's tons of apps out there. the one that I have, what's it called? I don't have my computer in front of me. Oh, it's called, I did a review on it. What is it called? Oh, sorry. I'm in the wrong email. Okay. Yeah, the same company that makes sorry, I'm looking at another beta here. Anyway, you guys know it. I just don't have it. I don't have it in front of me, and I don't want to spend the remaining minutes looking it up. But needless to say, Ripix. Ripix is fantastic for creating stems. As a matter of fact, I've been working. And look, I do want to be clear about one thing. Virtual DJ, algorithm DJ, Serato stems are good for on the fly, but they're not necessarily the best for production. You know, I was doing one just recently, and you know, I stemmed it out, you know, and I'm doing this blend, and everything sounds good. I just want I wanted the acapella to sound better. So I'm gonna have to take it into Ripix and then do a real time, kill it out, and then go from there. Anyway. What are your first impressions on the AI Lite DMX you bought? I haven't talked about it because I haven't looked at it. I mean, I opened it up. I can't do any of that until I get back from Hawaii. Once I get back from Hawaii, I can knock out a whole bunch of stuff. This week, I got to knock out a couple of things before I leave. And, but I mean, it's weighty. It's bigger than I thought. That's my first impression. For something that's just outputting O's and ones, it's a bigger box. And it's not a box that's necessarily going to fit like in my furniture because you kind of have to sit on the floor. It only has one universe too. Not that I need to have two universes, but it's always nice to have just two DMXs. That way you can, you know, if you need to maybe output one to like a Chevy DMX and then you output the other one to like the Ape Labs, you can have that option, but it's only one DMX output. So that's sort of a limiting factor for me. Yes, I mean, there are ways around it with splitters and stuff like that, but a little limiting. But yeah, just right off the bat, just heavier than I thought. We'll have to see. I haven't done my initial call with the person yet to really go over it. From pulling out their fixtures, it did appear that certain fixtures, some of my fixtures were not listed yet, and I think this is the same conversation that we argue about when we're talking about all of these things. Sound switch, the WMX, now this Maestro, is, you know, how often, how quickly do you update your fixtures? And then if you don't update your fixtures that quickly, how easy is it for me to go in there and manually put them in? I think the best implementation of all three of them is a WMX one. Maybe because it has pictures. I don't know, but it makes it easier to find out, to adjust it. I don't know. We'll have to see. I mean, this is my dead month. I don't have any events. I'm traveling and stuff like that. But as soon as, you know, August rolls around, I will be putting it through its paces. And I'm different. And I always say that I'm different. Yeah, I'm different. I always say this because I'm not your average DJ. Like most DJs have, you know, a certain amount of lights, and those are the ones I use every single week. I don't. I jump around all the time. Sometimes I'm using a gig bar. Sometimes I'm using movers. Sometimes I'm using, trusses. Sometimes whatever. Bottom line here is that I need it to be easy to switch over and over and over again. So we'll see. We will see. All right. On the Rane controllers, do the arrows on the pitch fader light up? I have the one and couldn't figure out how they light up. Arrows? You talking about the parameter arrows? They light up. The parameter arrows light up if you're doing something that has a parameter function. But the pitch bend buttons, I mean, everything lights up. I don't know if they light up when you press them though, but they're on. The pitch bend buttons are on. All right, let's see. Well, I answered that question. The statement is valid, but it's unrealistic because, just so we're all clear, there's a lot of companies that own a crap ton of competing and or just products in general that you're buying left and right and don't even realize that. Our industry is very, very small. Okay. Now, if we're talking about from a purely competitive standpoint, I think it's kind of a load of crap. Honestly, just the same argument that you could make with Rekordbox, Alpha Theta buying Serato is the very same argument you could make on InMusic buying up all these companies. You can make the same argument. So now the only argument that they're trying to make is that, well, yeah, but they'll see our trade secrets and they'll know what we're doing. So that'll give them a leg up. I mean, if we're really that sinister, okay. But that's why you have contracts. That's why contracts are in place. You know, make a better contract if you're that concerned. Or if everybody loves Rane like you hope you did, like they hope they do, and they love Denon and all that stuff. Look, guys, I keep saying the same thing. Same thing. I don't believe that if InMusic could flat out push Engine OS on all their products and people were buying them, I don't think they care at all that Serato's available. I don't think it, okay? And if Engine could port everything over to their hardware, I think they'd be just fine. Now, just like I was saying about, like Serato Lite or, the Serato Studio, these are all, Serato DJ, it's a gateway drug. Serato DJ is a gateway drug because if I have a Rane performer, let's just say, the Rane 1, finally they decide they're going to do an update on Rane 1 and it comes with Engine in it. All right. It's a standalone Rane 1. All right. But it has licensed Serato. Okay. People will use Serato in the beginning, obviously, because that's what they know. That's what they're comfortable with. But at a certain point, they're going to say, let me check out what this all-in-one can do. Let me check out this Engine software. And let's say Stems, they got Sound Switch built in to their DJ controller. They're going to leave Serato. They're going to go to Engine OS. That's just facts. If Engine OS did everything I needed it to do right now, and they had a great controller that I liked and I liked using, and I didn't have to open up my computer, I could DJ right off of there and stream right off of there. Why wouldn't you? You get what I'm saying? I think we are overreacting to this market, and I don't think market share matters. I mean, that's like arguing, technically speaking, that Pioneer has a larger market share than In Music. But if you look at In Music from all their product standpoints, I don't think that's true. So, but you do you. Whatever works for you. I don't know if I'm performing at all yet. Normally people ask me like when I get there. And the last time I performed for one of the speaker companies, they had me at the worst time. People were leaving. It was done. Nobody even walked by. I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. And I did perform, at the expo last year, but I'm not on any DJ things. No, not at the expo. At Mobile Entertainment Expo. Not the DJ Expo, the one that's in Vegas. Okay. I mean, you can batch edit all those songs with like Ribbix. You can do a batch edit, or if you're using Virtual DJ or Serato, they have you can put them in the download folder, not the download folder, the offline ripping folders, and then they will just stay there. Your hard drive is going to be eaten up to trash, but yeah. And then the issue here is also, why do you need every song to be stemmed? Not every song needs to be stemmed. Not every song sounds good stemmed. You get what I'm saying? Just we all get into this habit of like, oh, new technology, now it has to apply to everything. No, it doesn't, and it won't work for everything. You figure out what it works for, and that's what you use. If you're stemming every single song anyway, in all honesty, you're probably going to sound a little boring too. You can't stem every song. You can't stem every transition. But are stems useful? Hell yeah. Would I ever want to go back? Not at all. But when Tidal went to non-stems and you could just stream, Apple Music doesn't allow stems. I'm okay with that. Like, I'm legitimately okay because it's not my main catalog, so I don't care. All right. How do you handle guests coming up to you and requesting songs repeatedly? Well, I mean, if it's the same guest that keeps asking, you can tell them flat out, no more. I've had people ask me for a song and I play it and they come back and ask for another one. And then they come back. I'm like, okay, I'm no more for you. And you smile at them, but it's okay to say no to people. They're not our client. I know people that just always say yes. And then I'm like, well, now they're going to keep coming back. But if you say, no, I can't play that. Like, I've had kids walk up, can you play this? Can you play this? I'm like, no, it's not appropriate for this party. And you know it. They're like, yeah. And they walk away. Just be honest with people. Stop lying to people. All right. I got to get out of here. 40 gigs is more than enough music. More than enough music. More than enough music for your standard everyday DJing gig. Like I said, I ripped my entire catalog, not my entire catalog, but the stuff that I play onto an SD card for the Mixstream Go Pro. It was just fine. Just fine. And it was like 19 gigs. So if I wanted to put all the stuff that I really like my playlist too, that I don't necessarily play like on a bar mitzvah or a wedding, but maybe it's like my cool club vibe. It'd probably add another 10 gigs, maybe 40. Honestly, we have too much music. We absolutely have too much music. Okay. I know this. I don't know why we're telling me this. I absolutely know this, but that doesn't change what I said. Rev 5 is a good controller. It's very good. Okay. All right. Getting sick and tired of waiting for Recordbox to up their game with the stems. I apologize for being in public. No, it's hey, you're entitled. If you are a Recordbox user and that is your main software, I completely understand if you'd be frustrated with the fact that they haven't come out with their updated stems. Absolutely. And you have every right to bitch and complain. But none of us can do anything about it. But wait. But good things come to those who wait. There has not been one product this whole year where people waited and weren't happy that they did. In all honesty, not one product I've reviewed or I've seen, they've all been good and worth the wait. All right. Yes, this is true. But I think it's changing also. I think they're kind of going back. Okay. Anyway, song request app. I don't even care about that. I mean, you're supposed to know what works for you in the party you're on. All right, guys, I do have to go because I'm not trying to be in contempt for being late to court. So I will see everybody later. I do not know if Thursday is a show when I'm in Hawaii or not. I don't know yet. I'm going to I'll have my computer and stuff, so I'll have the ability. I just don't know. I will know a few days in to see if I care or not. Okay. In all honesty. And even if I do, the show will be like an hour long. I'm not wasting my vacation on the likes of you. All right, y'all. Gotta go. Enjoy. Watch the videos that are coming out. I should have, if I can shoot them correctly, I should have at least 2 for next week. Definitely 1, or Professor BX is going to drive to my house and smack me. So I will talk to everybody soon. If you have parties, I don't know if you do or not, have great parties. Hit the like on your way out. And I will talk to you guys in a few days. Peace. What the hell happened? Peace out.